Welcome everybody to the Integrity Ignite series. I'm your host Alexander Balderas here with another great FTN production. As we get rolling down the back straightaway, let's take a look at your grid. It's Adam Wood over Brian McFerrin in for row number 1. Braxton DeWeese and Vinny Tigner in row number 2. Thomas Bressie and Shane Ewig in row number 3. Then it's Sebastian Miller, Chuck Sweeting in row number 4. Rob Ackley and Cody Smith are going to round out row 5. Then it's going to be Chris Gabu and Michael Stroll rounding out row number 6. Chad McCaws and Timothy Johnston in row number 7. Blake Gordon and Calvin Flarisk in row number 8. Boomer Logan and Nick Terbach in row number 9. Ryan Potter and Brandon Bernhardt in row number 10. Row number 11, it's Alan Rowell and Kyle Cooper, along with Forrest Smith and Tim Rogers in row number 12. Matthew Thurnhorst and Jacob Five in row number 13. Don Stephenson and Trevor Trego in row number 14. And rounding off the grid, it's Anthony DeBarro and DJ Stagner in row 15. Here tonight for a 100-lap feature here at Talladega, and things are going to get interesting. With this field ready to go here from the Northern Alabama Speedway, we're going to get ready to send them off to the green flag. As the field gets ready to rumble, here we are in Alabama, Talladega, Alabama, one of the biggest super speedways there is on the NASCAR circuit. Let's get ready to go green. It's Adam S. Wood to take us to the green flag. Things are getting underway here in Talladega, and already off to a flying start is Adam S. Wood over Brian McFerrin. This front row hasn't changed at all. The number 45 leads that inside lane. Brian McFerrin on the outside with Vinny Tigner for help. Braxton DeWeese is going to be pushing the number 45 on the inside. And that number 13 machine, these guys have already started to get aggressive. Early on here in Talladega, we're only on lap 2 out of 100, and this field has already gone completely double file, and a couple of cars just out of the picture. The thing is about the Xfinity cars, we're going to talk about it time and time again here tonight, and that is the fact that the way this package is set up, there's a lot of tape on the front grille, so be expectant of a lot of guys to, be careful and start to save temps. Right about now, actually, as things would start to get hot, especially coming off of an insane push like that. You can see they're already the 13 of DeWeese having to pull down to the inside and try and get some air on his grill. And it's the same story up top with Vinny Tigner. He's doing the exact same thing, peaking up high and down low to get temperature whenever he can. And mostly what I picture is going to happen is that outside lane, once it gets clear, it will shuffle down to the bottom. And that's exactly what is happening right now. To the lead goes Brian McFerrin. He passes the 45 of Adam S. Wood, and he is able to make the pass for the lead with help from Vinny Tigner. He now leads that outside lane with help from the 32 of Sean Ewig. And off to a great start it's been so far. These front guys have been aggressive, but a calm sort of aggressive. They've really been able to use both lanes to their advantage, and Vinny Tigner might just go to the lead and bring his help with him. Vinny Tigner clear the 32 knot. He'll stay up top with the 75, but this is exactly what I thought would happen. That outside lane gets a push and is able to clear that inside lane, because that inside lane, the pusher behind usually has too hot of temperature to do anything about it. But now that 7 has been in the clear air for a long time, and long enough to clear that car's nose of any hot temperature in the radiator, should be cooled down, and so now they'll have a better chance of pushing. So the 7 laying off the back bumper of Vinny Tigner. Ryan McFerrin not doing much to the back end of the Spotify number 12. That 32 with help from the 75. He will drop now down to the low side. And your new leader is Sean Ewig in the 32, sorry. Now up that outside lane again, the 75, Chuck Sweeting going to get a push from the 18. That's Cody Smith. Rounding up the back bumper, Tigner is going to push the back end of the 32. This is the first battle in 2 laps we've seen. And that outside lane doesn't immediately take the spot. But here comes that third lane. Leading that charge is Anthony DeBarro in that 27 car. He's in the Supra. And he's leading that charge with the 07 Brad Patton right behind him. And to be honest, if I'm saying anything this early on, I was not expecting a third lane, a 3-car breakaway for a third lane to be used. And they've been making it work so far. They're almost side by side and neck with the leaders. We're almost 3 wide for the lead. And almost we were. Anthony DeBarro now leading that outside lane. Switches and cuts low now down to the middle lane. That outside lane now with 2 cars. The 37 coming up from behind, but I don't think he's close enough to really provide any advantage. Maybe not. I'll tell you what, this outside line has been proving me wrong in more cases than not. And even with just two cars and the 37 straggling back, he truly has gained a lot more time than I would have thought. Off turn 4, the 32 of Ewig still leads. The 27 of Anthony DeBarro now in that middle lane with help from the 75 of Chuck Sweeting. He's going to try and get this pass made on that inside lane, but now that outside lane really has started to work. They now have about almost 5 cars once this 19 and 29 catch up, and that will be pretty similar now to that inside lane. Lap car up top. He will have to find a way to clear. Maybe he goes to the apron. He's staying on the racetrack. Oh no! Well, this is going to slow that charge of the outside lane. He's able to squeeze down, but that outside lane forcibly has to pick up the 41. And that's going to slow and kill the charge of that outside lane. They are nowhere in sight. And it had to get broken up. Well, the outside lane broken up in an attempt to let a lap car by. And when the lap car had taken the topside lane, unable to get out of the way in front of the leaders, and that's just what happens. Brad Patton now in that outside lane of the 07 with the Ford. He's now going to hit a huge run with the 27 of Anthony DeBarro, and he will clear the 32 now, but maybe Anthony is clear as well, and this could be the first double clear of the race. Not quite. The 07 will stick with Anthony DeBarro up top, though. Vinny Tigner blinking and letting off the back end of the 32, but he is still making his charge. And now they're going to be side by side. Brad Patton is clear. And the 27 will push the 07 clear. And Brad is clear, but he trusts the 27. He's going to split him 3. And the 07 will cut down low. Now that's a smart move there by Brad Patton. Gave his help, just the right amount of help he needed. Knew he was clear and jumped down to the bottom. Now this inside lane really has something to work with here as they get a new pushing partner in the 07 of Brad Patton. Now with help from the 32 of Sean Ewig, it truly is going to be a good battle between these two. Now Chuck Sweeting has really been on that middle lane trying to get something to work, and here comes the resurgence of the outside lane. After it was broken up earlier, it makes a charge 3 laps later. And man, what a charge it's going. That's an incredible run by the 19 on the outside. He is able to get door-to-door at the 27 and fight for the lead. He might just be able to take the lead with help from Braxton DeWeese in the 13 pushing him. The 19 will go down low and will remove himself from the back bumper, or the front bumper, of the 13 of DeWeese. Now this outside lane really starting to work so far. I was not expecting 3 wide this early on. We are on lap 10 out of 100, and things have only gotten more chaotic so far. 3 wide, 4 rows back for the lead again. It's Braxton DeWeese on the outside. The 19, that's Blake Gordon on that middle lane, and then Brad Patton on the inside lane. The mix-up in strategy here I was not expecting to see as they get aggressive early on. And that's not something I would have expected. I would have expected them to, be a little bit more calm and ride out the yellow. Or not ride out the yellow, ride out the first few laps. But, no. As a matter of fact, I was wrong. Into turn 3 now, still 3 abreast for the lead, and things are looking to be slightly different as that outside lane has started to fall back. Just as it had shown up, it quickly goes away. That outside lane tried to get something done and just didn't have the energy and the momentum on that outside to try and get, a full move made, and they will slide back. Now it's a 2-horse race between the 19 of Blake Gordon and 27 of Anthony DeBarro. Now DeBarro able to clear the 19 on the low side. Will he get the 75 of Chuck Sweeting with him? No, he won't, and that's a risky clear for the 27, but he makes it happen. Able to make the move clear, and that was a great move by DeBarro. Chuck Sweeting with help on that outside line. He will be able to take the lead on the inside lane, but just as he takes the lead, Cody Smith with a push for the 24 of Thomas Bressie might be able to fight back for the lead. Chuck Sweeting over Cody Smith and Anthony DeBarro now, as these guys have been pushing for this entire run so far, 13 laps in, and no one has really calmed down any. Still 3 wide and attempting to go 3 wide. These guys up at the front of the field really haven't slowed down. Chuck Sweeting leads on the inside. Breakaway on the outside. The 24 goes down into the middle. And that's Thomas Bressie in the 24. And like I said, this outside lane wasn't expecting them to start off, be this aggressive. Now, the third lane up top has more cars than the middle lane, which would be normally considered the outside, as we continue to stay 3 wide. So, I'm going to give the viewers an update here that I've received from some of the league, some of the league admins in Integrity. Special challenge going on right now, and if you haven't heard the story, the Peppa Pig Chevys and the Cry About It Fords and the Donut Pass Me Supras are all from a March Madness bracket challenge. Winner got to pick the scheme for all the losers. And so, with that being said, if any of you are sports fans and familiar with basketball March Madness, it is essentially the same bracket challenge as it would be for the NBA. Chuck Sweeting been able to do a phenomenal job there of holding that inside lane almost to a T, and been holding on strong right now. As on that outside lane, that's the 24 of Thomas Bressie, and leading the third lane, that's going to be the 15 of Forrest Smith, getting a help from Braxton DeWeese. 3 cars, 3 abreast, and down goes the 15, able to clear all 3 lanes and out to a lead. And what a move from the 15. He's going to get help from Chuck Sweeting in the number 75. And with help from Cody Smith on the 18 in the middle, Thomas Bressi might be able to stop that. Braxton DeWee's been able to do a good job on that outside lane to try and prep the lane up for a run, to be able to push people, to keep that energy and that momentum up on that outside lane. Really something we haven't seen out of this outside lane since it first arrived and really first started to show its prowess, as he was able to jump up now as Braxton DeWee's able to clear the middle. Will he go back down to the bottom? Yes, he will. Braxton DeWee's is our new leader. DeWee's now on the inside, Thomas Bressi in the middle, and he will try and put up a charge to the 13. Leading at the line, give it to Bressi. He will be able, I think, to clear the 13 now. Yes, he will. Does he go down in the corner? No, he does not. He will stay up there with the 18. So he stays up there on the outside lane. And it is, it is something interesting, as a lot of these guys have faith in their pushers. They don't want to go back down to what is assumed to be the faster lane, such as, say, really the bottom. Braxton DeWee's now throwing a block on the outside lane. The 24, Bressi not having any of it. He'll jump up to the top, and he will clear the 13 as he will slide back to Cody. Bressi now looking to clear that low side lane, able to clear and block DeWee's. He will now go down to the bottom, and he will be with Forrest Smith, or does he? He's blocking both lanes, chooses not to, stays with DeWee's. Incredible moves there from Bressi, as he was able to fend off a charge and an almost pass from Braxton DeWee's, and he was able to shut it down, and now has the power of that outside line with Forrest Smith, the one who is battling on that inside lane. That being said, on the outside, that's Chad Mikoz in the number 25 with help from the 41. As that lane continues to fall back. 30-car field, or over 30-car field here from Talladega, so no shortage of car numbers here. And, well, it's interesting because the more car numbers you have, the more of a turnout you have at Dega, the more chance you have for the big one. And the famous quote is, it's not if the big one will strike, it's when the big one would strike. And I'm sure these guys, however long they've been on iRacing, are no short of the idea to know the big one. As it is commonplace theory for SuperSpeedway Racing, and especially at Talladega, that at one point in the race there will be a wreck so massive it will be named the big one. And it's not if it strikes, it's usually when. Thomas Bressi still holding his own on that outside, and DeWee's gets loose from the push of the 15, and he will have to drop back. And that allows the 24 to get a push from Cody Smith. Does he try and pass the 24? Yes, he does. Gets blocked now by Bressi, as that third lane will start to fall back a little bit now, as Chad will go down as Bressi tries to block. They're 3 wide for the lead. Bressi tried to make a move. He will slide back in the field. And Cody Smith is going to walk away with the lead, but that 25 isn't clear of the 24. And now there will be 4 wide as he gets left out to dry. That outside lane has completely lost faith in one another, and they are sliding back, still 4 wide. the smart thing to do in that situation is to try and get formed up as orderly as possible, and these guys are still 4 wide. I don't have a good feeling about this, if I'm honest. And I wonder just how long they can last like that. Able to sort it out and get it back to 2-3 wide racing now. Cody Smith, your leader, with Forrest Smith right behind him, being able to give him a push. Cody Smith and Anthony DeBarro now doing battle as they are the ones to lead the 2 lanes. DeBarro had been in the lead previously, but he had been shuffled back, and now this is his opportunity to get back up to the lead. DeBarro now with help from Bresci right behind him, as this is the closest that he's been, apart from being in the lead, to fighting Cody Smith. And this will be a battle down now to the 3rd lane, as well as a 2-car tandem able to get up there and almost fight with the leaders, as they've got 3 more cars in tow, so no shortage of help behind the 52. That 41 on the outside really does look strong. DeBarro was able to clear the 18 of Cody Smith there for just a second, but chose not to move down. He will stay in the middle lane with Bresci. Now, as that 14 goes on that outside lane, he has truly been proving one of his own. And, that's the 41, not the 14. And he has help from the 52. So what an exciting race it's been so far, as for a lot of these guys, it's been quite dramatic so far. Still 3x3 action now for the lead, as that's going to be the 41 on that outside lane. With help now from the back, Cody Smith is the one who's going to lead that inside lane. Unable to clear, and that will be unfortunate, but he will not make it past. These guys are still 3 wide, and no shortage of action here from Dega, as now Forrest Smith goes back down to the bottom. He will be right in front of Cody Smith. You got a push there from the 18 as this field starts to go by. The 41 now shuffled back down to the middle. Forrest Smith leading that inside lane. The 52. Chris Cabal leading that outside lane, with Nick Terbach at the 29 in the mix as well. These guys going through the field has truly been something else. And it's been interesting to watch the difference in strategy as these guys try and go hard early on. And I wouldn't have thought that strategy might have worked, but turns out I might be wrong. Whoa! Cody Smith gets loose while pushing. What a save for the 18. Cody Smith able to save it and keep pushing that 15 out to a lead as he peaks for temperature. And that's the one thing I was mentioning, that temperature is going to mean a lot in these cars, but clearly by this racing, not to a lot of people. They've been able to keep it 3 wide, and one of the main factors for keeping it 2 wide, almost double filed the entire way, and more single lane change passes is due to the temperature, but these guys just seem to disregard it entirely. They have absolutely disregarded the need for temperatures. They're 4 wide in the middle of the pack. That's Bresci there with DeBarro. They'll go back in line. But what? I'm just so surprised that this action has not died down. They've been like this since the drop of the green flag, and they showed no signs of changing that outside lane, just with 3 cars up there, and now in the middle. The 41 leaves that outside lane for Smith on the inside lane. As these two trying to make something work, the 41's going to peek out to that outside lane, that third lane, with the 29 of Nick Terabach in the Kevin Harvick throwback car. It's still Forrest Smith in that inside lane, though, with help from Cody Smith. And then right behind him, Chuck Sweeter with number 75. And this battle here for the lead has been pretty amped up ever since the start, and it has not faded in any way, shape, or form. As we were 4 wide a couple times this race, as they have been able to battle it out side by side and show no signs of slowing anything down. These guys have absolutely been pushing the limits of what it means to be fast here at Dega and to be aggressive here early on. Lap 30 here in Talladega. You're watching the Integrity Ignite Series here on FTN. We'll be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
You're watching the Integrity Ignite Series here on FTN. Welcome back, everybody, as we come back on lap 33 out of 100. These guys have absolutely been pushing the limits here, and nothing much has changed since the last time we viewed our field here in the high banks of Talladega. as these guys continue to be 2 and almost 3 wide. Green flag pit stop should be on the horizon. It's quite soon. This field of 30 cars here at Talladega has been proven to be something else and be formidable in the fact that with this many cars, it truly is something else. And the fact that they haven't wrecked yet has been absolutely astonishing to me. A lot of the field choosing to stay single file there on that bottom side lane and really ride this race out and not try and get involved in any of the early action, and that's a smart move. That's a smart thing to do. You know, you don't want to be aggressive early on. You don't want to be too aggressive early on. You don't want to do, anything that would really end you up in something that you don't want later in the race. And it's a good thing that these guys are doing that so far. I think it's smart that I think it's smart that they've been able to realize that, hey, I need to calm down, maybe let this race ride out. That might be the best option here for us. That could not be more true. Well, green flag pit stop's getting underway, and it's going to be our leader now in the 29 who comes down the pit road. That's Nick Turbach at the 25. Is going to spin, and nobody will hit him. Wow. Nobody hits the 25 as he spins across the entrance of pit road. But we have some takers down pit road now. Forrest Smith is going to be the one leading this pack right now, going through 1 and 2 now, entering the back straightaway. Forrest Smith has been one of those guys who've been up there in the field and then been up in the front for a large majority of the time now. As catching up with our front half of the field, they're entering 3 right now. And they are just exiting pit road. There's Nick Turbach in the 29. And here's Forrest Smith. He's going through the tri-oval right now. There you can see at the head of your screen there is the pack that had pitted just earlier. These guys decided not to come down pit road, and they stayed out. Interesting call not to pit yet, as maybe they're trying to extend their fuel to lap 40, as they will have to pick up this pack. If not, they go a lap down. A lot of these guys up front now holding on for dear life. Some of them were able to get away. Forrest Smith is going to have to shuffle back. And I believe that might have been a call to come down pit road in a mixed fashion. Not yet, as they still stay out. We stay green. Lap 38 out of 100. So I don't really know if it was smart of that first group to come down when they did. They're still ahead of the pack right now, but it's not by much. And this could be a similar situation to what we saw in the Cup race the other day, where all the Toyotas had come down pit road and pit before any of the others had during the end. And unfortunately, that plan kind of squashed for a lot of the Toyotas as they got into a wreck involving Eric Jones, John Hunter Nemechek, and Bubba Wallace that also collected, I believe, the 11 of Denny Hamlin. But came out of it scot-free was Ty Gibbs, Martin Truex, and Tyler Reddick. Reddick went on to win that race. And so it just goes to show that maybe the strategy may not work out now, but it may work out later, as the lead pack has picked up the 48 and the 93, and it's not gone so well for that inside lane. Anthony DeBarro will clear on that inside lane, will try to go down now, but that they will be split 3 wide, as I believe that might be the 38, or sorry, that's the 28, who is stuck on that inside lane, or the middle lane, and got shuffled out. And he is still 3, almost 4 wide, and these guys have not pit yet. Do they come in this time by? No, they stay out still. They're still staying out. then I wonder, maybe if that pit earlier wasn't, maybe they miscalculated their fuel, or maybe they're trying a different strategy, but I don't know. I don't know why they're not pitting yet. Interesting change-up in strategy here, as this lead pack has not come down pit road. We had a pack earlier that had come down pit road to get fuel to go on for the rest of the race. These guys have not. Here they come down pit road. Got a bunch of takers in the back. And here comes this huge pack down pit road, led by the 32 of Sean Ewig. This is going to be a hard pack to contend with. Major packs like this are hard to combat down on pit road. And this is what's left of the lead pack so far. It's Timothy Johnston in the 28. He got split out in the middle. Would you look at that? He's leading on lap 41 out of 100. The 28 leads is Matthew Thunhorst and Anthony Navarro, along with Chuck Sweeting and Thomas Bresci. That's your top 5, as they are all going to come down pit road now. Ooh, and a lock up there for the 41 and the 27. They will find their pit stalls. Oh, and through the grass goes Sebastian Miller. Sebastian Miller goes through the grass. Let's take a look back and see what happened. So this is Sebastian Miller on his attempt to come down pit road. Locked up the tires, went straight and, oh, just barely missed the cone. Yeah, and that's exactly what you don't want to do in that situation. You know, no one wants to miss pit road, but it's really bad like that. You've slowed down so much, almost to the point of which you could have made it down pit road, but you missed it. And so now you got to go around, and he is all on his own. And oh, there's a wreck on pit road. There's a wreck on pit road, and that's Chuck Sweeting and Matthew Thunhorst that get involved. So Matthew Thunhorst coming into pit road. Chuck Sweeting. Oh. And off goes the back bumper clip of the number 8 machine. So, calamity down pit road so far, as things have been different. As Sebastian Miller is now down pit road, but taking the lead right now. It says Timothy Johnson, but he has a horde of cars behind him. And as it stands right now, they are going about 10 kilometers an hour faster, which is a pretty big speed difference. But if DeBarro can maybe get their speed up, they've almost matched that pack behind them. They will be slightly slower, but right now they're still about the same gap down in speed, but it's a perfect merge. It is an absolutely perfect merge. It's a perfect merge, and they get to stay in control of that bottom side lane. They might split it 3. Yes, they do. And already, just after green flag pit stops, 3 lanes have already started to form. Jacob Fry and Brad Patton have wasted absolutely no time in their charge up through the field, and already starting 3 separate lanes. They're all going to shuffle down to the bottom, almost 3 wide, almost turn the 45, does the 18 of Cody Smith. And even though we've had a couple incidents, this race has been completely green as of thus far. No caution yet, or caution to be reported on. And so, right now, these guys playing an absolute strategy masterclass up to the front of the field. And that's Jacob Fye, who leads that inside lane over Adam S. Wood and Cody Smith. They're all going to be trying to push the number 45 out to the lead. But it's Anthony DeBarro on that inside lane trying to make something work, and that's DJ Stagner up there, as I would presume to be a lap car. So in the mix-up in the field, DJ Stagner would now shuffle to the back. He will lead that inside lane. They are four wide. DJ Stagner not being given any room at all as he tries to shuffle back and get out of the way. He will try and shuffle and get back out of the way, but it's going to be Jacob Fye still leading this race over Anthony DeBarro with help from the 07 of Brad Patton. And on that inside lane, that's the 52 of Chris Gabu, and been unable to really make any charges as of late. Brad Patton trying to make something work on that outside lane, tried to split between two cars, while was unable and unsuccessful in that attempt to try and make something work there in the end. And so he will have to shuffle back down onto that middle lane. He will lead the lane, but he'll have to shuffle back. And now to the outside, that's the 32 of Sean Ewig. Trying to lead that outside lane, that third lane up top. He will lead with Anthony DeBarro right behind him, trying to give him a push, but it's Brad Patton and Jacob Fye vying for the lead. Back lane the 22 trying to help the 07 up front right now, and I believe the 07 is clear of our leader. Yes, he is. Well, he was for the time being, decides to stay up there with the 22 to receive the help. As they're going to be four wide for the race lead. There goes the 32. He gets shuffled out. It'll squeeze right in. And these guys really know what they're doing when it comes to plate racing. They've been able to sense that, hey, we've been green this long. You know, we really shouldn't end our race over something like that, something that's stupid. A guy going four wide and being able to, not being able to hold it. Let's squeeze him in line and keep our green run going. Brad Patton and Jacob Fye still vying for the lead, as now the 32 is behind the 07. Sean Ewig is pushing Brad Patton, and with help on that inside lane. Thomas Presley is going to be the one pushing Jacob Fye. But the 07 is clear now, and is the 32 clear as well? Yes, he is. Yes, they both are, and down low goes the 32 of Sean Ewig. He will pass Brad Patton. So passes being made this early on. And I'm surprised that, again, this field has been as aggressive as they have been. They haven't really taken no for an answer. They've been able to try and charge and, keep everyone up in the lead. And it's truly been surprising because I wouldn't have thought that out of these guys. I would have thought that they would have taken a little bit more precaution and a little, more careful approach. But, no, these guys have been pretty full-on aggressive so far, and it shows. We were riding on board with the 22 of Robert Ackley. He was able to try and push to the back end of Brad Patton. And while he did have a run going of sorts. That 07 still is not clear of that bottom side lane, and you got to wonder, is this 22 the right car that he needs behind the 07 to get him up to the lead as he once was? Does he have enough pushing power to get him up there? That is the question. As it stands, no. So it's been an absolute mix-up here so far from Talladega, as a lot of these guys are unsure of what they want to do. Things start to get aggressive now as DeBarro leads that middle lane with Brad Patton. And now that 27 is vying for the lead with that outside lane. Patton goes down to the low side. They'll be 3 wide again for the lead. Right now, a lot of these guys continuing to be this aggressive, and it shows as this inside lane has been, moving around more than any other lane so far, and they've all been moving around pretty equally as such. That inside lane has been, moving around. They've been changing spots nearly as much as that middle lane. These 2 lanes have been the most aggressive at all, and that outside lane's just been hanging in there, using that momentum, using that run that they have through the outside, and they've been trying to hold on now. And they successfully have been pretty much held on this whole race and have not gone anywhere. But it's interesting that even after green flag pit stops, we still have over a 20-car battle for the lead. Sean Ewig in number 32, he leads over Anthony DeBarro and Rob Ackley with Brad Patton there in the mix as well. Adam S. Wood picks up your top 5. So DeBarro over Ewig now as he leads that middle lane with help from Rob Ackley. And Rob was unable to get the 07 clear, and could we see a likely story now with the 27? Rob Ackley just been unable to make a substantial amount of ground in a substantial push, trying to get whoever he's pushing to clear that inside lane, and it just has not been able to work as well as it did earlier on in the race, and earlier on as it done in the past, but unable to try and get something to work right now. It'll be Sean Ewig out front right now. Anthony DeBarro, Brad Patton, and Rob Ackley. I've been saying how these guys have been aggressive now, and even though they're still aggressive trying to go 3 wide, even though they're 3 wide, they have not made any substantial moves. And right now, the only substantial move is now Rob Ackley clearing the 27. Over from that inside lane. Well, he was, but he's not any longer. Three wide action here for the lap and for the lap led, and not only that, for the race lead. As now Cody Smith is going to be leading on timing and scoring over Anthony DeBarro, Shane Ewig, Rob Ackley, and Brad Patton. He's on that outside lane and was able to get a run off of turn number 4. And he was able to steal the lead away. But now it's Anthony DeBarro who's peaking just ahead. As Sean Ewig at the 32. Man, what a run he has. He was able to cut up there as well. And now he is clear completely of both lanes. Number 32 of Sean Ewig with the pushing help. The 07 of Brad Patton has been an absolutely unstoppable force as he will go back to the lead. And he gets turned in the middle of the pack. It's the 27 of DeBarro, and he will go around. Anthony DeBarro goes around. Caution's going to wave. Man. And caution will wave for the first time here in Talladega on lap 56 out of 100. Let's go take a look back and see what happened. So pay attention in the middle of your screen. You're going to be wanting to look at the 27 of DeBarro now. As seemingly he gets loose, tries to come back down, and I just don't see where this wreck is caused. Unless Ackley... Oh, Ackley goes down low as Ewig is coming up. And from the chop from DeBarro, and he's just not clear. Not clear, and off the nose he goes, and he brings Ewig with him. He completely brings him with him and hard into the inside wall. I believe both of their nights are over. Let's see if we can't get another look of that. Let's go on board with the 22 of Rob Ackley and really get a chance to see what happened there. Here's riding on board in the cockpit of the number 22. And there is the 17 up top. And to the outside wiggles the 27. Ackley looks slow. 27 comes down, 32 comes up, and oof. That's a tough call. That's a tough call because it looks more like a racing incident than first glance. Seeing from the inside of Rob Ackley's perspective, it looks more like a racing deal. What a hard hit for DeBarro. That car is absolutely junked. He comes down the slightest bit. And they're both killed. That's a hard hit for both of them, too. Yep, and both their motors are gone. Just like that. Things are heating up here in Talladega as now we have two cars completely out of the race. Sean Ewig and Anthony DeBarro are no longer with us, and they will be on the hauler and headed home. 58 out of 100 as we get ready to go back live and go back here racing in Talladega. And the leader will be Thomas Bresci. He is our leader. And over the rest of this field so far, it's been something interesting to see this. But Thomas Bresci is now taking the lead, and the pace car lights are off, so we will go green this time by. Well, with the caution out, and as the field now catches up, I might believe they would extend the yellow unless they know the field can catch up under caution. But we'll have to see. For now, though, pace car lights are off on the pace car, which signifies we will be going green this time by. Well, after the caution is called for the first time, we are ready to go back green and racing again. The pace car going to make its dive off of... Wow, would you look at how long that inside line is. That is everybody. Wow. As the pace car makes its dive down onto pit road, we get ready to go green here from Talladega for the first restart of tonight. It's going to be Thomas Bressie and Timothy Johnston to lead us to green as we go through the Geico restart zone, and we are green for the first time here in Talladega. First restart of the night. And it's been one of the more tame restarts and really one of the more tame moments of the races. Even though we've gone back double file and double wide racing once again, this field has really not made an aggressive jump to try and make some moves work. And as everyone gets filed along that outside lane now, as they had before, lap 61 out of 100, a lot of these guys have been pushing really hard to be aggressive, as even though we just had a caution, clearly that does not sit in the minds of anybody. Because even though we just had a yellow for a wreck, these guys are still going just as hard as they were before. Absolutely nothing has detracted from the racing product out here on track right now. Not even a caution can slow down the aggressiveness of this field as they continue to be what they were before the yellow. It's Thomas Bressie and Nick Terbach to lead us and to lead the field, as Chris Gabu on the outside lane tries to make something work. He's unable. Sorry, that's the 69 of Alan Rowell on the outside lane in the Spam 69 to try and get something to work, and has not been able to lead his line to the absolute front. Now, maybe I changed my mind, as on timing and scoring, he gets the lead. Without from the 41, he'll clear down with him. He'll go all the way down to the bottom, and he will clear all the way to the lead. And what an absolute power move that was by the 69 of Alan Rowell, as he was able now to get down to that inside lane. And finally, on timing and scoring, that's Nicholas Kahan in the 41. That is being led by a push from DJ Stagner, the number 64. Down to the inside goes the number 8. And now blocking for the lead is the 41 Nicholas Kahan. Filed through the trial, that outside lane being consisting of about 2 or so cars, maybe a few more straggling back there in the mid-half and back half of the pack. But it's certainly interesting, though, how these guys just had a caution and they're going aggressive, or maybe even more than they were before. DJ Stagner on that outside lane trying to get to the lead. Oh, but we have a pitter. It's Sebastian Miller. And he will file down pit road. DJ Stagner around the outside of Nicholas Cohan. That's Brad Patton, Forrest Smith, Alan Rowell, and yeah, that's your top 5. They're all around this top 5 area, and Nicholas Cohan has been able to use his dominance so far that we've seen of him being able to push people up to that lead and up to the top half of the field. And we've been able to see him now not only do that, but push his way to the front. And right now on lap 65 out of 100, we've seen something truly remarkable in the fact that these guys really have not downplayed any of their aggression. And that inside lane, that's the Spam number 69. That's Alan Rowell there in the Spam car. And then on the outside, that's Nicholas Cohan trying to make a move down through that middle lane. And then on this outside, you have DJ Stagner and the 15 of Forrest Smith going to make that third line work as this pack has started to break up. So once again, a lot of people choosing to ride around on that bottom side lane just to run through the laps and be able to make sure, I want to get to the finish here. I want to get through it clean, not have a scratch on my car. I don't need to vie for the lead. I don't need to fight for the lead. I don't need to do something that I might regret. Being up there at the front of the field. Maybe I can relax and take my time and be able to, go through the field at my own pace. Here comes DJ Stagner around the top, and I don't know if he wanted to pick up the 83, but he was forced to, even though he went to the outside lane, and he'll have to try to find a way to get around him. Nothing changes up front so far, as within the mix now, these guys all trying to fight for something. And, it's been something interesting to see these guys be this aggressive early on. I've said it once, I'll say it again. That caution did not scare anybody into not being aggressive. Everybody, and I mean everybody, has been fighting for the race lead, and they want the race lead. Not only do they want the race lead, they want the race win. They've been pushing so hard, and we're only now barely coming up to 30 laps to go. This double file, double wide action now still stays the same, as no one has been aggressive so far in the terms of trying to take the lead away and pushing someone past into the lane. We almost saw it earlier, but we couldn't, as now everyone will file back into those double file lanes. DJ Stagner had to drop back. He was the main pursuer of that outside lane, but he will no longer have any help, and so he'll have to stay back there in the back, the mid-20s. Yeah, but you know what I was saying about dialing down the aggression? I think that's exactly what these guys have done so far. Even though they're pushing each other and they're trying to get to each other to the lead, they're not doing anything crazy, and they're not doing anything that really I wouldn't do in a plate race. I'd kind of want to ride around, It's lap 69, but hey, I've still got time, and I've still got a ton of time others to do other things and try and expand my way to the front. Lap 70 here from Talladega. You're watching the Integrity Ignite Series here on FTN. It's been an incredible race so far. Don't go anywhere, as we will be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Anything we want into exactly what we seek. This is what it means to be boundless.
Back here live from Talladega. You're watching the Integrity Ignite Series here on FTN, and it's lap 74 out of 100. Things have been getting even crazier now, as this pack is now back to 3-wide action like we were earlier on in this race, and things have gotten just the way they were. And with these guys being up here throughout the field, it truly is something incredible to see them be this aggressive now, even knowing what it was like on the horizon as they had just went through. And so with that being said, these guys have really, cut the slack in being maybe not as aggressive as they were before, and now they're 3x3 almost for the lead. And so a lot of these guys being able to use that experience that they've had being at the front of this field and using those and those strategies to be able to, try and make moves back up to the front as they had been if they were stuck in the middle of the pack. And it's strange to me how still, even though it's 75 to go, now coming to the later stages of this race, that inside lane still is the absolute longest line of cars I think I have ever seen at Dega. They are entering turn 1 and the last car is just crossing the start-finish. That's how long that line is. Well, unable to do anything on that outside lane, especially on that third lane. That third lane hasn't been prominent for a while now, especially after the second wave of pit stops and the times we've been under caution. It's still Nicholas Cohan, Chris Gabu, and Alan Rowell up front with Adam S. Wood, Timothy Johnson, and Thomas Bressie up there in your top 5. Right now, Nicholas Cohan is leading that outside lane and has no plans to switch from the back end of Chris Gabu to number 52. They have been absolutely pushing each other, and he's had the trust in him to know that he is able to stay with him. And he is able to stay with him and know that he is a good pusher and be able to have faith in the man that's pushing behind him is one of the most crucial things, especially at a pit track like Dega. With all these guys having trust in the people around them, it's one of the best things you can have at Talladega, regardless of plate track as well. So, with that being said, as these guys continue to be too wide, as we go 22 laps to go, we're going to go to a Crank It Up, brought to you by TrackCams22.com, track cams for gourmets. If you want the best track cameras on iRacing, or the best cameras in general in terms of iRacing broadcasting, or for yourself, visit TrackCams22.com, the only camera provider for FTN. as we get ready to go back now, and it's lap 82, now 83 out of 100. We have a couple of takers down pit road. Interesting story in that case, as I wasn't expecting people to pit. We only had a few. Right now, this is the battle for the lead. Vinny Tigner has made his way up there on the outside lane with help from Braxton DeWeese, and he will be up in the mix now with the inside lane, having that same 69 and 15 pairing. That middle lane has switched up quite a bit. Now they have the 52 and the 8 machine. Oh, the 8's pitting! Or, no, I'm sorry, apologies there. I thought that was the 8 pitting. I was wrong. The 8 is still within the pack, but he is a lap down, leading that first lane. So because the 8 is a lap down, I can only feel how frustrated he must be. Right now, the 52 behind the 8 must be frustrated in the fact that he's not been able to get past the 8, no matter which way he's been able to push him or whatever way he's been trying to get by, he just can't. He's stuck behind the lap car, and while it's not much of a big deal, really, it's just slowing down their run and his possible chance of getting to the lead. Tigner going to lead that one, and with help from Braxton DeWeese just behind, and on the inside it's the 69 car of Alan Rowell, as he has help from behind in the 15 machine. And these guys up here in the front half of the pack have been doing absolutely incredible work to keep their cars up throughout the field regardless of the aggression level. And even with a lap car in front of one of the leaders, that pack is still charging for the lead. As they remain 3-3, I believe everyone in this pack can make it on fuel because of that caution that we have. They would have had to come down pit road one more time, as they would not have been able to stretch out the fuel for 50 laps. So these guys now, I believe, are out of trouble of having to come down pit road. But just because they don't have to come down pit road doesn't mean things are getting dicey. Down to the bottom goes the 8, and the 69 did not want to allow that to happen, as now he has a lap car in front of him, and that second lane is allowed to be free and breathe. As the 8 car will now drop out of the pack, I believe he's going down pit road. Vinny Tigner to the lead over Braxton DeWeese and the number 52 there in the middle lane. And now Vinny Tigner will have to play blocker on 3 different lanes. And that's no easy feat to do. We've seen people try and do that this race, and it has not ended up well for really any of them. And particularly ended bad for a majority. Whoa, and loose is the 69. He will save it on the racetrack. What a save. He'll go onto the apron, and he'll come back up, and what a save that was by the 69. Vinny Tigner starting to fall back. It's Tim Rogers in the 48 who leads for the first time tonight. I believe Tim was one of those who started further in the back half of the field, but was able to catch up to the rest of this pack under green. And we've only had one caution this race thus far. And that just proves how good of a racer this integrity field is. And I have been absolutely shocked upon my return to the grid. These guys raced well and raced beautifully last time. But seeing them go this far green with only one incident that really just could be down and could be blamed to just a miscommunication or just a minor lapse in judgment, these guys have absolutely been pushing the docket for what is possible, especially when it comes to green flag racing at Talladega. I believe we may have a spin to the inside, and they are going to save it. They might be 4 wide for the lead. And I thought they were 4. Yes, they are. And they're squeezing really, really hard. I believe they're going to make it through. Yes, but they are still 4 wide. This is absolutely immaculate racing. Something you really would love to dream of them being 4 wide. Count of 4 separate lanes. Keep it green and not wreck. Again, we've only had 1 caution this race. Plenty of saves for people going back down to the apron. But just imagine this. They've gone 4 wide now. I think that is the 3rd time this race we've gone 4. And they haven't even come close to dying any time they've gone 4. That just once again proves the absolute, not to say a pun here, but the integrity of this integrity field. Coming to lap 91, 10 laps to go here from Talladega, and things have been heating up as they went 4 wide to avoid a catastrophe. Now that switches up through the field. It's a double file on that inside lane, and as it stands right now, it truly has been an interesting attempt for a lot of these guys to try and get back to the lead. But that outside lane and that 3rd lane really have some work to do if they want to pass that strong inside lane duo of, I believe that's the 51 there in the mix as well, with help from Forrest Smith there. He's 3rd in line on the inside, and that's the 99 behind pushing the 51. As we whittle and tick down the laps here in Talladega, this race is coming to a close, but who will be decided the winner? And will we have a big one? This field continues to get more aggressive as the laps wind down, and that has remained true for almost every time that we have gone anywhere close to an ending of a race or even coming close to the beginning. And when that caution had happened, these guys getting overly aggressive may prove to be a good strategy, but it also may prove to be not a great one. We saw when they started to get aggressive, a couple of people made mistakes, and that's what brought out the yellow there originally. But who knows, we might see something different this time. Rewind down the back straightaway they go. That 51 has been leading that inside lane to a perfection now. As here they're all fighting on that outside lane. Cody Erdman has really been showing these guys what it's like to be a true leader, and he's going to bobble and wiggle from a push from the 99. And I thought he was going to go block the 25. No, he doesn't. We stay green, no caution, no incident. With the amount of field shuffling that has been going on this race, a mix of guys that weren't even close to being in this top 2, top 5, and maybe even the top 10. We've almost had an inverse field effect. We have a few guys that have been up here since the start, but a majority of these guys were not up here during the original start of the race and during that caution start. So a lot of drivers mixing around and taking up different positions as this race goes on. As almost all of these 3 lanes have been equal, they've been fighting pretty equally for the lead right now. The 51 is still door-to-door with the 25, but that 3rd lane still just struggling a little bit to get up to pace and catch up to that 25 on the middle lane. They've all been battling it out quite hard, but just unable to really try and seal off the deal. That 07 been a strong and formidable force here up to the front of the field during this race, unable to get to the front and to the lead right now. These guys are really taking to an aggressive way of pushing. You can see there the 99 bobbing up and down between, almost between the lanes there as he tries to push as aggressive as he can to the back end of the 51. And while we're coming up to 4 laps to go, I could see why it might be go time for some of these guys, but you know, we've still got about 8 miles or so more to go before we have the end of this race. And with the aggressive pushing that I'm seeing now, we may have our big one on our hands. This 3rd lane really hasn't seen a resurgence to what it was earlier when they were fighting for the lead constantly. While they are still in the fight for the lead, they haven't been side by side with the leader in a majority of the time. They've been side by side with the 2nd row in line, and that's all about that's about the highest they've been so far. And so they need more help from the 48 behind to be able to push up and try and get to the lead, but that just hasn't happened yet as of right now. These guys trying to get this done. I don't know how much energy and how much momentum this outside line still has left in them, but they're going to have to push a lot harder if they want to get to the lead. Aggressive now in the middle. The 25 is going to get turned, and there goes the field. It implodes with 3 laps to go.
How you doing in there, kid?
Man. And there went the field. Let's take a look back and see what happened. There goes the 99 to block, the 25 down low. He stays up there and he follows the 99 up. Around went the field. And the 15, wow, they were able to make it through, and there goes the field behind them, crashing. Wow. And there goes and went the rest of the field. Let's take another look at that and see how that all transpired. go back a little bit further to see a clear picture of what happened. And we're gonna look at the 25 for more of a reference, as he will come down, and you see that. And that is what starts off this chain reaction of crashes, as he's the one to go around, and there went the rest of the field. I think Vinny Tigner was able to make it by. Yes, he was. And you could just see here the rest of the field just follows and piles into the wreck. I mean, there is wrecking all over the place. Oh, Vinny Tigner does not make it through. He gets tagged. He gets tagged. He doesn't make it through completely clean, but... And then the 29 just gets hit head on, and these guys make it through, but the rest of the field, not so much. Nick Terbach went for a ride. Go back and look at that. So he was in the thick of it. He was right behind the 25. There goes the 99 up to block. 25 comes down low. Knows the 15 is there. Tries to go back up and squeeze in. And just tags the 99. He will go down. Right rears the 51. There went the field. And surprisingly, the 99 will make it through, along with the 15 and the 12 of Vinny Tigner. I think he gets hit in the right rear by the 3, or maybe he just gets loose because the grass. Yeah, no, he makes it through without a scratch, but there goes and slides down the track. Goes the 99. He's trying to save it. Oh, Vinny does not make it through completely scratch-free. He hits the 24. And then up the track, the 07 has it missed. Pile drives into the back end of the 29, and he comes back down the track, and the 19 just clobbers the left front, and around he goes. Well, that certainly was an interesting wreck, to say the least. One of the biggest ones I've seen in Integrity history. But Chuck Sweeting is going to be scored the leader. Believe it or not. The man in the 75 will be scored the leader. So we'll go for a green-white checkered attempt. Now, I don't know how many we have. I was not informed prior to the event starting. But here's a look at the top 5 as of right now. It's DJ Stagner, Chuck Sweeting, Forrest Smith, Ryan Potter, and Adam S. Wood. A couple guys in the Highline Racing League, which will be back this Tuesday, so tomorrow. I will be back in the booth for that, and we'll be back for the Premier Series this Thursday, where we'll be seeing back the number 64 in that number 64 Raging Cajun car. Well, all the excitement in that race builds up to this. One last moment to decide whether or not someone comes out of this race as a winner. One person has to win, but who will be the winner? That's going to be decided on this green-white checkered as we get ready to go green. Chuck Sweeting and DJ Stagner will lead us to the Geico restart zone, and we are green for the final restart here from Talladega. As we cross the line, 2 laps to go, and already the 99 of Ryan Potter splitting it now to the middle. He'll have the 64 of DJ Stagner come back down in the middle, and he will go with him. He'll be really squeezed tight here between the 15 and the 75. If Ryan Potter can push DJ Stagner enough, they could try and pull a 2-car tandem and come out with the lead. As right now, these guys getting aggressive. I think a spin in the back. We stay green, no caution. And DJ Stagner scored as the leader. Right now, he's clear of Ryan Potter. They will go back down the track. Vinny Tigner up in the mix as well. And these guys are vying for the race lead. As we come out of turn 4, do they make it to the white? Yes, they do. They make it to the white flag. 1 lap to go from Talladega. And around the outside goes Ryan Potter. Here comes Vinny Tigner to help push the 99. He will clear the 64. Will he go in front of a fellow Highline Racing League driver? No, he doesn't. He stays up above. He stays as Vinny Tigner. But right now, DJ Stagner trying to make something work with Chuck Sweeting on that inside lane. Is he able to get the run? No, he's not. He's lagging right behind. But here comes Jacob Fye on that outside lane. 3 wide for the race lead. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. Who is going to leave Talladega? And who's going to crump across the line? Ryan Potter gets turned across the field. Who's going to win it? Jacob Fye blocks out of the inside. Here comes Forrest Smith for the race win. They're going to be side by side. Forrest, he'll get tagged. Who's going to win it? Jacob Fye. Jacob Fye is going to come home a winner in integrity. And what a race win. Wow. What a finish. That exciting race led up to a green-white checkered, and that finish did not disappoint. Jacob Fye, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be your winner from Talladega. And what a way to do it. Jacob Fye is going to come home the race winner. After an absolutely exciting race here from Talladega, let's take a look and check your top. Let's take a look at your results. During the end of the race here, Jacob Fye comes home with the race win in arguably one of the best finishes in integrity history. Then it's Chad Mickaws in the second position, oh so close with Don Stevenson, Forrest Smith, Kyle Cooper, Chris Gabu, Gail Brooks, Tim Rogers, Adam S. Wood, and Jay Heschman in that 10th spot. Going now on to page number 2, Justin Morton and Nicholas Cohan in 11th and 12th. It's Braxton DeWeese and DJ Stagner in 13th and 14th. Timothy Johnston and Travis McCushion in the 15th and 16th position. Then it's Vinny Tigner and Brian McFerrin in 17th and 18th. Blake Gordon and Alan Rowe in the top 20. That rounds out your top 20. Now going on further, Brad Patton, Thomas Bressie, Ryan Potter, Chuck Sweeting, Brandon Bernhardt, Rob Ackley, Neil Frolick, Sebastian Miller, Cody Smith, and Matthew Thunhorst round out your top 30. And the rest of the finishers goes as follows. It's Boomer Logan, Nick Terbach, Michael Stroll, Trevor Trego, Cody Erdman, Calvin Bilarski, Shane Ewig, and Anthony DeBarro is going to be your final finisher here from Talladega. Well, what an exciting race that was. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with interviews and the final wrap-up thoughts here from Talladega. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now getting interviews underway as we get ready to talk to the man in the 47 car, Don Stephenson. He finishes third here from Talladega in what was an incredible and wild finish, to say the least. These guys, beating and banging as hard as they were, had really proven that they were the class of the field, regardless of anything that had been shown. We're going to get a word with these guys here in just a moment. The man who finishes third, it's Don Stephenson. He came home in third into what was one of the greatest finishes I think has been in integrity history. Don, you come home in third after what was an incredible race. Walk me through how you did it.
They pretty much rode around three-quarter throttle for about, the race was 100 laps. I rode around three-quarter throttle around 20th for about 99 laps because I was pretty confident there'd be a big wreck at the end, a couple of big wrecks at the end, and that's kind of the strategy I've kind of done the last several times I've raced in a restrictor play race. Just having a lot of patience, waiting for the others to basically not be patient and wreck themselves out, and then get a good finish out of it.
Yeah, I was surprised for how long we stayed green and how aggressive the field was 3 wide. Just to ask a question, was this the iRacing fixed set or was this a different set? Because in my history, the iRacing fixed set tends to get very hot, so I was expecting just 2 lines and a couple swaps here and there. I was not expecting the aggressiveness I got.
Yeah, these are fixed setups, for both the Ignite and Octane series. Like we run the fixed setups every track.
But speaking of which, though, I was not expecting some of the aggressiveness, and you guys were able to hold on to that for an incredibly long time. To go even into green flag pit stops being that aggressive and come out green flag pit stops still being that aggressive. What was it like being in the field as that was going on?
Well, it's kind of a cat and mouse game in a way, a little bit, because also that whole last run, 90% of the field there was saving fuel because we had to save fuel to make it. So, it was like you were trying to gain track position in one sense, but you're trying to save fuel in another sense. And it's pretty hard to do both. So my main thing was I didn't really care about being up near the front there, when we were getting to the closing stages at it. And when we got to about 5 to go, then it was like, all right, maybe it's time to go, and started to go a little bit, but then it's 3-4 wide in front of you. You couldn't go anywhere anyway. So just kind of, like I said, be patient and hope that, big wreck happens. And like, it doesn't happen 100% of the time, but it happens probably, I'd say, about 80% of the time. And if you could miss the wreck that 80% of the time, then 80% of the time you're going to get a good finish in these races.
Well, good finish for you in the hopes that you finished third here from Talladega, and congratulations on that. Is there anything else you'd like to say or anyone else you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank the admins, the Integrity Racing League here, Boomer, Stroll, trying to remember them all because we got a lot of admins here. I'm sorry. We got Calvin and all the Octane admins, Jacob, Cody, myself, Jay, Chris, Tom Wetmore, who wasn't here tonight, but we all worked really hard, put together a good league and everything, and thank all the members for coming on out every week. We had a very strong field tonight, and really they did do a really good job racing pretty hard and holding it together for as long as they did and everything. Thank my lovely wife that allows me to race every week, and thank you guys up in the booth. You guys do a great job every week and everything. We really appreciate having you guys on board, and thank our sponsors, Next Level Racing and Jay Hudson's dog sponsorship there with his dog service there. Like, it's cool having him on board for these 5 races for this chase or for this round here. So, thank you to everybody.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and congratulations, Don, on a wonderful third place in what was an insane finish. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
The voice of the man in the number 47. He comes home third. Now let's get a chat with the man who finished second. That's Chad. Absolutely wild finish there in the end for him to come home in second place. Chad, you come home in second place in what was a wild finish from Talladega. Run me through how it happened.
Oh, man. I don't even know if I could tell you. Me and my DIR teammates worked really well together tonight. Man, we had like the first 4 or 5 spots there before we had that last yellow. Me and Cody worked really well. We were just trying to control the 2 lines that we had. Unfortunately, we caught some lap traffic, and that bottom lane got a hell of a run. And car from the inside jumped in front of me, and I tried to jump back into the inside lane, and we all just pinched each other and took everybody out. So I apologize to everyone who got caught up in that. That's totally on me. I should have been a little more patient there. But coming to 2 laps to go and you're leading the outside lane, you're just gonna try to do anything you can to win the race. But yeah, I restarted 11th, I think, that last restart, and just went straight for the middle. The middle is my favorite lane by far here at Dega, and on these plate tracks in general, just because you get a hell of a run. And we made it back to the front. Second, I mean, I'll take it. I've been very, very lucky this year with a lot of the great finishes we've had. So to kind of come away with the podium after a mistake there really, really late in the race, and actually early in the race too, spinning, it definitely feels a lot better. So.
Well, able to come home with that second place. And really what shocked me throughout this whole thing was how aggressive you guys were and how long you were able to keep being aggressive and keep it green and clean.
Yeah, I was caught up in the middle for the most part at the beginning of the race. I didn't qualify too well. But yeah, you just see people jumping lanes left and right. Yeah, I'm glad we had a really good race, because the last few weeks we've run here, we haven't really been putting on the best show possible. So I definitely hats off to everybody tonight. We could have made it a lot worse than what it was. I mean, two yellows, that's pretty damn good for a 40 car field at SuperSpeedway. So props to everybody for keeping it clean for the most part.
Yeah, that was incredible seeing that level of aggression be carried on for so long. Well, Chad, congratulations on coming home second. And is there anything else you'd like to say or anything else you'd like to thank?
Yeah, obviously just want to give Jacob a big congrats. Him and I have been running nose to tail here pretty much the entire season, so nice to see him get one. Everybody at Integrity Racing League, obviously everyone here broadcasting, appreciate your what you guys do for us and making us look professional. My DIR teammates, sorry again, I took probably 90% of them out that last yellow there. My friends at Firelight Esports, IMB Racewear, Brez Coffee Co., Pit Stop TV, Whiplash Simcams, Do the Move podcast, and my design gig, Big Evil Design. So appreciate everybody who makes the series run, and everybody who tunes in to watch us.
Well, once again, thank you so much for your time, and congratulations on coming home in that second place.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you, buddy.
Was the voice of Chad, because he comes home in that second position, and I had no idea, but I have to put myself up for this. Well, it's a long time coming in the end, but Jacob Fye, congratulations on being a first-time winner here in the Integrity Ignite Series. You come home from the win here with Talladega in an absolutely wild finish. Walk me through how it happened.
Yeah, man, that was definitely pretty crazy the last couple laps. Dawn and I had been kind of hanging around in the back. We went up at one point, or at least I did anyway, to get stage points or whatever, and then just kind of rode around. I thought the field did a really nice job up until a couple laps to go. I thought they were going to go all the way, and I'd finish 20-something, but we got that late caution there with that sent us to overtime. And then, and just, the cars kind of fell right. I had some help from Don when I finally made the move 3 wide to the outside there, coming to the white, and he gave me a great push all the way around. And then, he got to my outside once we had cleared. I think they wrecked under me there. I think it was Ryan and Vinny were under us there, and they kind of wrecked. And then it was down to him and I and Forrest. And, it was just, got a little contact there between Don and I. And then Forrest had a great run under me, and I wasn't going to block it. It was too quick, and it looked like he just clipped the apron a little bit, and then we touched, and then it just kind of got him on de-wedged, or got him loose enough to where he started heading down towards the wall, and I was able to hold on for the win there. So it's definitely very crazy at the end, but that's Talladega, right? So glad to get this win, managed to avoid the wrecks and stuff, and bring home a W.
Bring home the W, and your first W in that, in one of the craziest races at Talladega I've ever seen. Now, one thing I was really surprised about was how long you guys kept it green and clean while being that aggressive, while being 3 wide, and for that long, you guys did an entire green flag run pretty much 3 wide the entire time.
Yeah, that's why I was in 28th for most of the time. I had the same thought you did. Thought we were going to be, I usually, tend to go or less. People get a little bit more aggressive, and they did. I mean, you could kind of see things were brewing. and as they say, business was picking up. But they kind of got through a couple 4 wide phases there without any issue, and I'm like, man, if they can manage to hang on to that and not wreck, I might be finishing 20 somethings, because there's just nowhere to go, right? It was either they wreck and we kind of re-rack them, or I finished 25th, 28th, whatever. So, like I said, the majority of the field did a really nice job keeping everything moving, and luckily, like I said, we were able to re-rack things and make it through there and get the first win in the Ignite series. Luckily, I keep my yearly win streak alive. We've been doing this here in the Integrity Racing League for 13 years now, and I've won every year, so I can at least say that I got that for one more year. So that's pretty cool.
Well, congratulations on being a first-time winner this season, Jacob, and congratulations again on showing up, and thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Just real quick, say thanks to FTN and you guys.
Sorry, I was going to say, I've almost forgot my famous tagline. Is there anyone else you'd like to say, or anything else you'd like to say, or anyone else you'd like to thank?
You're good, man. Yeah, just obviously thank you guys for broadcasting for us here. Y'all do a great job, and hopefully David's enjoying vacation.
I'm going to go see him sometime this week.
Yeah. We'll catch up. I hear he's in our private channel. He's commiserating missing my win, but but no. Thank the admins. Thank for everybody showing up who help who make the series possible, right? And then thanks to our sponsors for Next Level Racing, Pro Powder and Paint, who's on my car tonight, who sponsors the league, and just a really solid group that we have here in both of our series that represent integrity well. And thanks for everybody for coming out.
Well, once again, congratulations, Jacob, and thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, man. Have a good night.
Well, another first-time winner here on FTN, and it's Jacob 5, who comes home with the win. Incredible win here from Talladega, but this is going to wrap things up for another great night of Integrity Ignite Racing action. I have been your host, Alexander Balderas, producer and commentator here on FTN, and I couldn't think of a better way to end off the night. Thank you so much, you all, for watching and tuning in. For all Fireball Talks NASCAR related content, make sure to scan the QR code on your screen right now and join our official Discord for race information and access to in-house interviews and productions. If you want to join the FTN universe, scan that QR code on your screen right now to join us, and maybe you could be behind the booth and behind the scenes of how this all goes down. Want to join us on track and be able to be in one of the leagues that we broadcast? Scan the QR code on your screen right now. Stay in tune with all the latest news in eNASCAR and iRacing, brought to you by FTN. And go ahead and scan the QR code on your screen right now to be connected with the iRacing community and join us. You may find yourself going from not only the grandstands and the viewing perspective, you could be racing on track with us in the future. Well, thank you so much to everyone who has tuned in tonight here from Talladega. It has been an absolute wonderful race, and thank you again to Integrity for letting me come out here, subbing for David Kreutz. He will be back soon enough. Give it about another week or so. He will be back in here. Normal production schedule as it goes on. And be sure to not miss out for tomorrow. I will be back in the booth covering the Highline Culture Designs Truck Series. And this Thursday, I will be covering Highline Premier Series. And thank you so much for tuning in, everybody, and I hope you all have a wonderful Monday night.